Hi, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here with me today, and I'm so happy to be back in the card making business. As I said the other day in my triangle gatefold card tutorial, I have been so busy since January doing things with Altenew and then traveling that I haven't had any time to use other supplies that I have, especially the kits that I've gotten along the way. And so now my goal for the next few weeks is to go through all those things that I've collected while I was too busy to use them, and to look at the pattern paper and the ephemera and make cards out of them, not using stamps or layered stamps or anything that I normally would use. It's a challenge to me to find new ways to use these materials that are easy for everyone, new to me, and creative. So I decided the best thing to do was do a mini series on some fancy fold techniques that everyone can do. And I'm really hoping that you will try some of these out. Today, we're going to be using a kit from Spellbinders that is just gorgeous. I'm not even sure what month it is because it was just in my stack, and I apologize for that, but it's called Beauty is Everywhere. And the minute I opened it, I thought, oh my gosh, this is for me. It's feminine. It's got pinks and black and gray and other colors too, but it has Parisian elements, and oh my gosh, I'm in love with it. So I made this sample card, and we're going to use something different today to make our card, but I wanted to show you the sample of what a collar fold card looks like. And it's called collar fold because if you turn it this way, it kind of looks like a man's collar. So, but we're going to use it this way, and it is so easy to put together. No stamping, no difficult anything. Anybody can do it. If you've got pattern paper and if you've got glue, you're set. So let's get started. So for today's card, I picked out 3 papers from the pattern paper set that came with the Beauty is Everywhere kit. And I just decided to go with a green wave since I used pink and gray and black on my first card. We're going to be cutting these, but I want to tell you that I will put the measurements up on the screen and also down below, let me point the right way, that way, in the description where you can find them for yourself. You don't have to take notes and write them down now. However, just be sure that when you do look at the description with the little arrow, that you click the more button, because that's where everything is listed. And I'd also love for you to subscribe to my channel. It would be really meaningful to me. And please leave a comment and let me know what you think of my tutorials. I really appreciate it very much. So the first thing we're going to do, and you're going to understand it in a minute, but we're going to cut this piece down to be 2.5 inches by 5.5 inches. And this will be the piece that goes on the inside, like these roses here do on this one. And I'm going to explain why we have to do that in a minute. If you have double-sided pattern paper, you won't have to do that, but you can see this pattern paper is just white, and I didn't want it all to be white on the back, so we're just going to make up for that. So I'm going to do 5.5 inches here. This paper is 6 inches, so it's almost 5.5 anyway. Let's see. Just taking off a little 1/2 inch. And then this direction, we're going to do 2.5. And there we go. That's our very first piece of pattern paper. Now this is going to be the front piece. So we're going to trim it down to 5.5 also. And I think I'll take the 1/2 inch off of this end. We're going to have the stripes running horizontally on this piece. So I'm measuring at 5.5, cutting off that little 1/2 inch. And then this way, it's also 4.25. Just our regular A2 size, 4.25 by 5.5. And make sure you get your stripes facing the direction you want. I want them widthwise, so I'm doing them on the 4.25 side. So there we have our card front. Now we need to glue these two together, because what we're going to do is, if I'm going to have my card, I have to decide which way I want up. I think I want it this way with the heavy green stripe at the bottom. So I'm going to want to paste. I'm not in elementary school. not paste, but we're going to adhere these two sides together. I guess that sounds better. So I'm going to just put some dot runner. Let me get it straight on this paper, and I want to get it on the corners too. So I'm going to put this right here. That's making our backing for the paper, so it's not any more white backed. And there we go. Okay, so now we're going to get our trimmer back out. And what we're going to do is we're going to take, the card's going to go like this. So we want to do a slit here. And so we're going to cut a slit on this end. Now, you have two choices. On my trimmer, I have a ruler on the trimmer blade right here. I don't know if you can see it. Let me stick a piece of cardstock under there. Can you see that I have a ruler right here? So that means that I can measure 2 inches as I cut. If you don't have that, then just go ahead and measure 2 inches from your left-hand side of your card. So the side that you glued this on. You measure 2 inches down, and then you'll know how far to cut your slit. And you're going to cut it right in the middle of 5 1/2. So that's 2 3/4. So you measure 2 3/4 down, which is halfway, and 2 inches in. Now, if you have a 2-inch measure on your ruler on your trimmer like I do, what I'm going to do, let me show you. I'm going to put this in with the side that I'm cutting here to this edge. So that means it's actually flipped around so that we're cutting on this side. And I'm going to put it at the 2 3/4 line down here. And that means this is in the middle. Then what I'm going to do is leave my fingers there. And because I can't really read that very well with this pattern paper, I'm going to put something over there and put my little marker here right at the 2 inches. And then I'm going to put it down. This is my cutting blade. And then I'm going to cut it. So I have a 2-inch slit right there. Can you see that? Now what I'm going to do on this trimmer, I keep telling you about it because I'm excited about it. It's a Stampin' Up! Trimmer. I heard a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator talk about it and use it, and it has the cutting blade and the scoring blade all on the same track here, and you don't have to change them. You can just use either one, and boy, I love it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to score down to that point. So we're going to fold these corners back here and here, but rather than just fold them back, I like to score it there. So I'm going to see which side I see that cut on. I'm going to move it down this way a little bit so I can see it better where the track is. And I'm going to put that, I think I'm going to do a piece of tape. I still have this tape here from the other day. So I'm just going to take a little piece of tape and put it at the edge of that so I know where that is. Oh, it's right there. Okay. So now I'm going to take that intersection right there with that tape and put it in the middle of my track. And then I'm going to hold my finger right where that is. And then I'm going to use my scoring blade and I'm just going to score that far. And there you can see it. Can you see it there? See that score right there? Now I'm going to turn it around. And again, if you don't have a score, just fold it. You don't have to score it. I'm just doing it because I do have one, and I find that it's easier to fold if I score it. But if you don't, no worries. There we go. I'm going to put my finger there, my scoring blade, and score this one. And now you can see I have that V-shaped scoring there. I can take my tape off, and you can see that. So now what we're going to do is just fold it. We're going to fold it to the front on that scoring line. And you can see why if you score it, it's easier to fold, especially if you have the 2 layers of paper instead of just the 1 layer. If yours is double-sided paper, you don't have to worry about it as much. I'm going to take my bone folder and just Go across that crease really well. And it doesn't really matter here if it's exactly right on. Mine is right there, but if you're a little off here, don't be freaking out about it because it's perfectly fine. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Okay, now we're going to put this aside and take our other piece of paper. And this one is so pretty. It has Paris written on it. Can you see that it has Paris and different designs? It's really pretty. So we're going to make this one again. I'm going to turn around this way. 5.5 tall. So my pattern is going the way I want it to go. Just double check that because you don't want to have the pattern running sideways. And then I'm going to cut it off at 4.25. So once again, just an A2 size, 4.25 by 5.5. And then I'm going to get some white cardstock, just plain old cardstock, and do the same thing with that because this paper is so thin that I don't want it to be a panel all on its own. So I'm going to put it on a piece of cardstock. So on my black and pink example, I had some pink cardstock that was quite thick and heavy, so I didn't back it on anything but just the pink. But on this one, because I'm using pattern paper, I'm going to put some cardstock behind it. So I'm just cutting it at 5.5 by 4.25. Don't you find that it's important to have some fallback things that you can make quickly but still look beautiful to your recipient? You know, you don't have to worry about paints, inks, or anything. You just have to make something that's quick and fun to make and looks beautiful but isn't complicated. And if you're a beginner, it's so nice to be able to just put something together and say you did it and feel really good about yourself and have it look fabulous. And you didn't really have to master any techniques because everybody knows how to cut and glue. So you know what I mean? It's just nice to have some of those techniques. And that's why I'm doing this series, is to give us some options besides all of the fancy stuff. I love fancy stuff just like everybody else, but you know what I mean? It's just nice to have something else to fall back on. So this is going to be our card like this. This is the base of our card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put foam tape on this. Now, you don't have to use foam tape. You can just use your regular glue or tape runner or whatever, but I kind of like it set up. And on this one, you can see that that this is set up above that. And I just think it gives it some dimension that you wouldn't have otherwise. So I'm just going to pull out some foam tape and put it on here. And you will not believe how easy this card is to put together. It's so quick and easy, and yet it looks so pretty, and especially when you have great materials like this. I love this kit. I wish I had had it when, well, I did have it, but I wish I had had the chance to use it when Spellbinders put it out because I think it's awesome. And I love the Parisian flair and everything. It's just beautiful. So I'm going to be making some more cards from this, and I'm going to be doing some more in this series on easy fancy fold cards and using the same thing with pattern paper and ephemera to give us some options of using things besides all of our inks and everything. So just keep watching this series and you'll get a lot of ideas for how to use all of these materials that you probably have sitting around in your stash. You want to use up some of that pattern paper because that's something I kind of hoard, not just in kits, but just in general. I can't stand it. I see pattern paper that is so pretty and I just go, oh, I've got to have it. And then, you know, it just piles up. What are you going to do with it all? Well, I want to make it into cards to send to people. So now we're just going to put this down. Okay. Take off all of these. I hope you guys are having a good summer. It's summer here in Alaska finally, and I just absolutely love it after spending my whole life in California with 100 degrees. I love it here. It's only 75 in the summer, and there's no snakes. There's no rattlesnakes or any other kind of snake, and that's also a bugaboo for me. So I'm loving it. I can keep my French doors open, have the breeze come in. Just gorgeous. Okay. So there we go. Now you're thinking, well, these collars, the collar part is sticking straight up. No big deal. We're just going to cut a little bit of foam tape and put under there too. I'm just going to cut off a couple of pieces. I'm using my big scissors today. If you don't have a pair of nice long shears, think about getting some. I use them all the time. Usually not for this, but these are the Tim Holtz ones. They come in 3 sizes and they're non-stick and I just love them. So I'm just putting a little bit of foam tape behind these just to make them stick down. And now we're going to move on to our ephemera that I picked out. And I decided, I did pink flowers on the first one, so I decided pick some flowers that, or pick something that isn't flowers. So I did. I picked some butterflies that came with it. And I got this, which I think is so pretty, which I'm going to put right there. And I think I'm going to put it on with some more foam tape. I'm going to put foam tape on this side and foam tape on this side of it. And just liquid glue in the center because this is raised up. And so I want to put it even. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to need 2 sets of foam tape on that side. Okay, I want the 2 to be on this side. All these little ephemera also have sparkles on them. They're so pretty. So we're going to put this down like this. And it's even all the way across, yay. And set up a little bit so it looks nice. Okay, now I picked out some butterflies to put on there. And what I thought I would do, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to bend it a little bit so that it looks like it's flying. I'm going to glue the little one on top of the big one and have them kind of a little, give it a little bit more dimension. So I'm going to put some liquid glue down the middle. Can you believe it? We're almost done. This is how fast this card goes together. It's so easy and so much fun and so pretty. And you could do it with rainbow paper. You could do it with birthday paper. You know, there's no limitations as to what you can do this style with. Any colors, any design, any pattern in terms of the paper. I'm just going to try to hold that down in the middle while it sets. And kind of fold these up a little bit. And then I'm going to put some glue right in the middle on the back. I don't want to glue the whole thing down because I want the wings to go up. And I want them at this angle. So I'm going to just hold that down there. And then we'll try to get the wings to go up in a minute. Just give it a chance to dry. And this paper has sparkly on it here. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that sparkles on here? This is sparkly. This has sparkly stripes in between the colored stripes. It's really pretty. Okay. All right, there we go. There's that. Now, I just thought it was fun for a sentiment to put something French because this has Paris and it's all a French set and they had ooh la la, which is also sparkly. I don't think you can see the sparkles, but I thought I'm going to put ooh la la right across there and send it to a friend of mine like, oh, I was going to put it under, but now that I'm thinking, I think I'll put it over. Well, no, I'll put it like that. Ooh la la. Aren't you special? That's what I'm going to say. You are a special friend. Ooh la la. Why not? I should be able to speak French. I took French, literally, long story, from the time I was 2 until I was out of college. I started at age 2. I have essays that I wrote in French when I was 5. Well, you know, I went to a private school and that's what it did. And so, but can I speak French today at the age of 70? No. I'm afraid it all went kind of down the tubes when I didn't move to France or anything. So I feel bad, but I still love French things. So I'm in the mood for ooh la la today. Let's see, I'm going to try this back on here and see about the foam tape versus glue. Put foam tape on the ends and glue in the middle of ooh la la, just to get it to stick. Isn't this turning out pretty? So pastel and pretty and feminine and sparkly. You could send this for a birthday, you could send this for Mother's Day, or anything that's special, a thank you, an invitation, a new baby, even with different ephemera, whatever. Or you could make a masculine one with all masculine ephemera. You're always looking for a masculine card, and this is a fun masculine card to make too. Okay, ooh la la, right there. Just like that, ooh la la. And now for some extra oomph, I just decided to add some pearl embellishments. I'm into pearls more than sequins. I'm not a sequin person very much, but I do love pearls. And you know what I think? I think I'm going to put some right down here in the middle of the butterfly to be the butterfly body. I hadn't planned on that, but now that I'm looking at it, I think that will look really good. Just like that. Can you see those? And then I'm just going to space some around. I decided to go with a beige pearl because it's just kind of neutral and it matches the beige in all of this. So I thought, oh, I'll just do some beige pearls. Let's see. I think that is looking pretty darn good. So now I'm just going to glue these on. Okay, we finished our pearls. And we're done with the card. How easy was that? And look at how pretty that is with all the pattern paper that's all coordinated with all the glitter. Even the ooh la la has shiny on it, but I don't know if you can see it in the camera. If I twist it like that, I think you can maybe see. And then with my other one, same design, same everything. This one I did use my Nuvo sparkle pen on the For You because the sentiment did not have sparkle, but the flowers all had sparkle. So there you go. I hope that you will experiment, dig out some of your pattern paper that you have in your stash and just go for it. And then please think about joining my Facebook community. We have such a good time there. There's so many nice people. Everybody's encouraged, whether you're a newbie or an expert. It makes no difference. We're in there to encourage and inspire each other and learn from each other. And if you join that, which will be down in the notes, you can post your cards there, and I would love to see them. I would love to see them. I really would. So anyway, that's it for today. I'll be back in a few more days with another easy and simple fun fold card for you. Thanks so much for coming today. I'll see you next time.